Okay, it's 9:30. I've just started the recording, and I still invite everyone to say hello on the chat box. And if you have anything you want to say, go ahead and unmute yourself, um, and then we can get started. Hi, Jody. Okay, um, let's talk just a little bit about what we're doing here today. We've got the Rocky Mountain Early Childhood Conference coming up on March 17th and 18th, and some people are doing a private pay where they pay with their credit card, but a great many of you want to pay with your quality improvement dollars, and so that's what this webinar is going to be about. Okay, and I'd like to really extend a warm thanks to Denver Childhood Council. They helped a lot with getting the procedures and having them in a format that was easy for me to create these documents. So thanks so much for all you guys. Okay. Next note is that these procedures are currently being tested by all of us. So they're not authoritative in the final sense, but please keep your eye out for any kind of inconsistencies and bring them up, and we can modify them and make them authoritative. All right. Without any further ado, let's get your attention to this screen over here. This is our solutions page at support.ecla.com. So here in solutions, if you notice in the address bar, it's support.eclacolorado.org/solutions or solutions/categories. But if you just go to our support site and search for solutions, it's in this top tab. Okay, so I'm scrolling down to the bottom to this new category I created called training registrations. Okay, I'm going to click that, and the main folder that it's in is this one here. And since yesterday's announcement, I added one more item to this, and it's this one here. It's called important links. So what that one is, I'll just open it up and show you what it is. It's got the link to register. If you're already registered, it's got the link to modify your registration with your confirmation number. It's got the schedule so that you can not have to log in and actually be attending to your account just to see the schedule. It's got the phone number and an email. And then it's got links so you can go back to another article. This isn't a link here, this one here, but these ones all are. So you can connect to any of these from this particular solution. Okay, and then these breadcrumb, that's the style for showing this file path. Breadcrumbs have a link to the top there, so clicking that one takes you back also to all four. Okay, so let's just start with a quick explanation of what each of these are. Okay, I've already explained this one here. So the first one is to prevent your invoice from going to junk mail. And the reason we have that is just to have it's sort of like having a safety net to catch the email, because so many times I get tickets, or I get just sort of weird responses saying that somebody can't find the email and I have to resend it. So this is a procedure to help us out and just have the basket, so to speak, already open so that it goes directly to your inbox. Okay. This second one here uses the Cvent software to register you. So we'll go through that. This third one here, EC Connect, shows you how to upload your proof of registration and your invoice to EC Connect so that you can get reimbursed for those QI dollars. Okay. And then this final one here is it's similar to number 1 because it's not super necessary. But if you haven't created a QIP goal, this number 4 will show you how to do it in Colorado Shines. Okay. And just earlier today, Lisa Sater brought up the fact that it takes 48 hours to sync. So I would recommend that if you do this step number 4, be sure you do it 2 days ahead of when you actually intend to register. Okay. Okay. Thanks for your comments in the chat box. Please feel free to keep using that. And I'm going to start from the number 1 here. Okay. All right. So Outlook is what we normally use. So if you use something besides Outlook, this won't be quite as relevant. But some of the same steps are really similar. And let's see what we can do. Okay. So in Outlook, we want to go to the Home tab, which is just basically where you always are, unless you click File and it sends you to save stuff. But you can see that it's highlighted in gray, and I'm instructing you to click this down arrow so that you can access the junk email options. Okay, select this option here that I'm pointing at with the cursor, and then it might actually give you another dialog box about cached mode or exchange mode. Those are online modes for Office 365 that aren't as relevant to this tutorial, but there's a richness in there that we could explore on a different day. Okay. When the dialog box opens, here we're now in step 5, be sure that you click this tab called Safe Senders, then click the Add button, and then add this address, registration@ecconference.com, all lowercase, and then click Apply, and then OK. And that's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple, sweet tutorial, but it really does make a big difference when you are expecting an email and you get it exactly where you expect it to be and don't have to hunt. So please use this, and if anybody has any questions, I'll pause for just a minute. Okay. There is one other way that you can, I didn't tutorialize it, but just if you're pretty good at Outlook, what you could do is go into your junk email box or folder, and all you have to do is find the message, right-click it, and then there will be an option to add to your Safe Senders list. So that's the super easy on the fly way. But this way here that I've outlined in this tutorial is, I wouldn't say it's the preferred way, but it's the one that sort of takes you through the steps in a very linear fashion and keeps you knowing what you're doing at every step. Okay? Another pause for comments if you want to put them in the chat box or questions. And feel free to save your question for later. I'll do I'll stop early so that we can address some of those. Okay, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and use this handy link to go to the next one, which is going to be number 2. Okay, so here's how you register through Cvent. There's the link. Okay, so here it asks for your first name, last name, email address, and your registration type. Unless you're an exhibitor, you'll probably just click attendee. Okay, so I won't actually fill these in, but I will go to the links. Okay, so Here's the screen that we just saw. And the email address for each person registering is unique. So when I was doing testing, I tried to register myself with a fake name, but the same email address, and it immediately gave me an error saying that that I was already registered. Okay. Just a quick pause. Stacy's got a question. What is Cvent? Cvent is really just this website. They are the people who handle this website for our registration, and I believe they're a partner of NAEYC, or somebody who does their web stuff. So I don't have a full answer to that, but okay, he said thanks. You're welcome. Okay, let's go back to the tutorial. So we've opened the browser, we've filled this in, and we've talked about how the email address should be unique. We also talked about this step. Be sure you click attendee there. And this box that's obscured right here, it says alpha of this person. You can actually kind of see it more clearly up here. It says, I am registering on behalf of this person. Sorry it's so fuzzy, but that's the nature of these screenshots. You can register on behalf of somebody and use the email address for yourself to receive all of their notifications. Okay. And then you always want to click the blue next button at the bottom to continue. Okay. And step number 4 asks for personal information and contact information. So again, these fields are they're not what you can put anything you want in them, but it's better to have them as true as possible. Okay, contact information. I got an error on this one because I put this address, it's Independence, which isn't in Denver. It's actually in Wheat Ridge because it checked the zip code with the city when I pressed submit, and I got a big error in red, which I delineated out here. Step 4.2, all this stuff in red, they're not something that you should expect to see unless you're careless with the way you fill in or just have typos. So take a look at these messages. They're just FYIs, but you will see them in red at the very top, and it'll tell you exactly how to send the form with no errors. Okay. The other feature here that you have is to send this invitation to others, right? So I sent this one to myself, and then you can also add a person, so it's not just limited to 3 people. You can keep adding. And then you can have a customized message for everybody who you send the message to down in this box here. Very simple, just asking them to attend after they register, or to attend, register and attend. Okay, and then you'll click the next button on that one as well. Okay, so 4.1, 4.2 explain what I just said. Okay, and then we have the registration questions. All these are questions, they're demographics questions. So it asks for race and ethnicity, gender, age, things like that, and whether you've attended before. Now, all these are required, so please fill in a response for every single one of them. Although some have opt-out responses, like this dietary restrictions, it's got other. And so does the language one. Not applicable is the opt-out selection. And then at the very bottom of this form page, it gives you the option to opt in for informational texts during the event, up to 25 of them. So that's up to you, personal preference, if you want to receive texts or not. But when you put in your phone number, which you probably should have already done it in the personal information section right here, so it asks for your work phone and for your mobile, and then it uses the mobile for that opt-in to text. Okay, I've thrown out a lot just in the last couple of minutes, so I think it's a good time to pause for questions or for you just to take it all in. Okay, we just now finished step 6. Okay, so now on these ones, 7 through 10, I don't have a screen here. I don't have graphics. But they are forms very, very similar to these ones. And you can recognize the required questions because they have this red asterisk before the question. And if you don't fill them in and press submit, it'll ask you to fill them in again. Okay, so on these 7 through 10 that we don't have graphics for, registration options, fill in all those and then click next. Meals and workshops, also fill those in and click next. And remember that earlier I mentioned that that you can do the hotel request. That's, well, let me come back to that in just a second. We'll just keep moving on. So the workshops, more a little bit about the workshops before we talk about hotels. The workshops you can see, as I mentioned earlier, in that link, in the important links page. You can read about the workshops, see which ones you want to attend, and see which ones overlap, because this CVent system will also prevent you from registering from overlapping sessions. Nicole says that the view sessions options are coming up blank. Is anyone else having that issue?
After I've completed the section to fill out my information, it comes up to ask you, do you want to do Friday registration only, Saturday registration only, or view full day registration? And below it says view sessions. So when I click on view sessions for any of them, all it says is that occupancy only. It doesn't list what the workshops are.
Okay. Well, you haven't registered for any workshops yet, have you?
No, because I haven't been able to find any descriptions of workshops anywhere on their website.
Okay. So the workshops is the next. It makes sense that it doesn't populate there. It just gives you a blank one because the workshops is the following section. So, but since it's got these previous, next, and cancel buttons, you can fill in your last information first and go backwards through the process if you like to, for an extreme example of how versatile this system is. So basically the answer to that question is that it allows you to enter the workshop information first and then go backwards to look at it. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something.
Yeah, you just haven't gotten to that point yet. Cool. Thanks for your question. Okay, so now we have the workshops. Why don't we just for laughs go to that important links one and look at the workshops. It's the schedule link. All right, so this is a really long page. As you can see by the little square here, usually if these are short pages, that little square in the scroll box is almost to the middle, but this goes pretty long. So I won't go through everything in here, but I'll just draw your attention to a few of the things here. Okay, so where it says here at the top, show all sessions, you can just select one if you know it. I haven't had a chance to familiarize with every session here yet, but it's basically just grouping them by title and by time and speaker. So that's where you can look at them. And you can also select which day with these links here, March 17th or March 18th. And what it does is it's what's called a meta link. So that means that it takes you to a same place on the same or a different place on the same page. Okay. So you could just use these as to prevent you from scrolling. Okay. All right. So then the hotel request is where we are now, unless anybody wants to ask a question. Okay. So the hotel request is by person, and it's part of it's one of the options that you click, not on this page here that with the opt-in for texts, but it's at the bottom of meals and workshops, and then it just sort of appears out of nowhere when you click the button that you do on a hotel. Then you fill in the name of the person and how many nights. It's only for the 16th, night of the 16th and the night of the 17th. Okay, and then you click next. And then what happens is that the total request amount for your price is added to the price that you're paying for the, or a better way of saying it is it sums up both the hotel and the workshop cost. Okay. All right, and then lastly, you get a summary page to determine if you, so that you can review it, determine if you need to cancel, add somebody else, or just keep on going. And then it's got a very friendly titled "Finished Adding People" button when you're ready. Okay, and then you also have the submit payment screen, which allows you to apply a discount, but you can also pay with either credit card or QI funds. And I'm not going to detail paying with the credit card, just the QI funds. Okay, so that's where this tutorial stops. Okay, so the last part of it here is how to pay with QI funds. And I'm pausing for questions and for mental digestion. Okay, moving on. When you opt to pay with the QI funds, there's a little radio button. It's the round kind that you click. It's like a true or false one because you can't click both of them like you can on the square boxes. But this allows you to to choose it, you have to agree to the terms and conditions in a separate agreement box, and then you click Finish, and you see the gears animating, showing that it's thinking and processing your payment. And then the very last part just is saving your message so that you can upload it to EC Connect. Okay. So again, let's just review so see how far we've come. I'm just going to go for the major titles so that we can summarize it that way, right? So we register online through all those screens. We opt to pay with QI funds, and then we save our confirmation message. Okay. So when you get it, again, this is the address that I asked you to put in your safe senders list. If you hadn't done it, it's no telling where it's going to go. But if you have, then the box is, so to speak, already open. Okay. And this is what's in the subject line: Rocky registration confirmed. So I'll just maximize that so it's really easy to see. So look for that in your subject line and look for this sender. Okay. Then when your message is open in Outlook, you want to click on the File tab. That's the same one that you would use if you're going to save the message, which is exactly what we're going to do. You can also get there from that very top arrow in Outlook. It's the one that takes you to save the files or to change your preferences, things like that. Okay. So again, click the File tab, then click Save As so that you can choose the directory, because it's already downloaded, so Save will send it to your Downloads folder. So again, all these are options. If you're really good with directories and stuff, some of these might not even be relevant to you, but for those of us who like to think very linearly, this is the way to go. Okay, and customize the file name, but it's very similar to this one. Okay, it's a really weird mix of numbers and letters. Okay, so when you get the email, you want to open it and look for the links. All right, this is the text of the email, and this is what you click to print it. And it gives you a PDF like this in your browser. Okay, and now this circled arrow pointing at the line is the download icon. So click that and save it to the same location where you saved the confirmation message so that it'll be easy for you to upload to EC Connect. And it says within the next 2 business days. That's particularly from Cvent. I'm not sure 100% how it works because I'm still registered, and I registered on the 10th, and they still haven't informed me that there is something wrong with that. So I'm not 100% sure how to take this last comment, which comes directly from Cvent. I just copied and pasted it. Okay. So does it make sense when I say save the invoice to the same directory as the email? Okay. If not, hopefully it'll make sense when I go on to the next section. Okay, just a pause. Okay, Again, we have this handy link at the bottom to go to the next one. And for those of you who like tabbed browsing, I don't know if you noticed it or not. Let me just X that out one more time. Watch how this creates, I set it up on purpose to create a new tab. So this is the same one. So it creates a new tab so you won't lose your work. Okay. That's just a little whistle and bell, so to speak. All right, so now we're going into EC Connect. Okay, those of you who are a portal user or EC Connect users, that's usually coaches and directors, but EC Connect allows anybody with an email address to register as long as they're associated with an early childhood site, because it asks you to provide that information. Okay, so when you log in, you're going to log in to, let's just do it in a new window, EC Connect here. Okay, so for those of you who remembered last year's registration, there's a nice big button right over here that said Rocky Mountain Early Childhood Conference registration. We're not doing it that way this year. This time we're doing quality improvement. Click on submit. Choose your site. And then when it says select, choose a dollar requisition. Please don't choose a coaching. Click next. And open a new QI request. Incidentally, if you already know how much you're paying for the conference in aggregate, be sure that this dollar amount can handle it. Okay. QAP category here is going to be workforce and professional development, and payable to is going to be to the training provider. Okay. Over here, you select the provider, which Rocky Mountain Early Childhood Conference. Be careful, this one's really close in name, but it's got parentheses after it, so it shouldn't be that hard to get the right one. Okay, and then professional development, this blue button too, click that one. Again, you see stuff appear at the bottom of the screen. And then if you keep clicking that, you want to do that for each registrant. You can also click this button. This one does the same thing as that button. They're both adding professional development. Okay, but here I'm only adding one. I'm going to choose the name with this little down arrow. It's already got your people in there. Other training, and did I spell it all right? Good. The start date is going to be St. Patrick's Day, and the end day is 1 day later. This is both days. No for already registered. I don't have any food allergies to put in here. Zero to 5 is the appropriate category. And if you want materials in Spanish, press C. Not taking it for a license requirement, and scope, it would be just full program. Okay. Okay. Then it rolls up your totals, or it totals your people here. let's just do another one just so that you can see how it works. The 130 amount that I just put in there is for a single day. And this person test apparently speaks Spanish. Okay, so now this is the cool part. Let's go back to the tutorials real quick and just kind of recap. Okay, so we clicked on the Quality Improvement tab. We selected the site. We selected the dollar requisitions. And we started with the Submit New Request. Okay, just going back to that right quick. If you save your draft here at any time during the process, you can always resume it. So this Submit New QI Request button could also be continue a previously done order. I forget what the exact wording is, but it's not a new one, and it's the buttons show up all together. Okay. All right. So after you hit the green button, wait for a second till this shows up. Be sure you have the QIP goal as workforce and professional development, the payable to the provider, the conference in there, this professional button pressed so that you can fill in the next stuff, QIP category, and then this link here is just in case you haven't already got an appropriate QIP goal. So if I were to click that, it just takes me basically to the next tutorial. Okay, we'll go to that in just a second. Okay, we've covered these steps too. The training provider. Okay, we've got that blue professional development button. Okay, and then we also mentioned this that and went through the step. So if you're adding more than one person, just keep pressing that button for each person. And this X button allows you to correct a mistake. You can just completely delete this whole entry if you click that. Or you could do this one too. So again, the versatility of the online portal. Okay, so this is just more explanation of the professional development. This is called professional development. Okay, so it's just one item and another item. All right, and then when you send it, this is what your request looks like. But there's still the last thing we need to do, which is upload the invoice. Okay, so let's show you how. I'll show you how I did that. You go to the attachments section at the very bottom. Let's minimize this so you can see a bigger range of. Right, so the professional development. You just scroll all the way down, and there's two buttons here. The QI additional documentation uploads your invoice. At least that's how I've been doing it. And the proof of registration uploads your email. Okay, so click that. There's my invoice. Since I already did this once, it went already to the directory. That's just a behavior of Windows. Okay, So there's my invoice. As you can see, it's there. It's actually for 2 people, 3 people. So you can upload all 3 at a time. Okay, open. You see it shows up here, and you can go view it in Sugar if you need to. Okay, then upload this one, the email itself. Either double click or click it once and say open. I double clicked it. Okay, and then finally you write it in a description about how this quality improvement is good for your activities, your council, etc. So just a generic message. This that's a creative spelling there, but and then sign your name. I like to save before I submit, just in case. But then when you go to view this in Sugar, it takes you to a spending record, which is in draft status. If you actually submit it, it will be in submitted status or received. There's the requisition that it borrows from. Here's the payment status, not yet paid. And then in notes is where you'll find your registration and your invoice. Okay. The notes panel. Okay. So once I submit this, well, let's look at this here is the requisition, the QI dollar requisition, and we'll see that it's got 1105. Okay, so go back to EC Connect, submit it. Be sure you click OK because it says you won't be able to make changes. Congratulations. Okay, then you can go see the record again, or since we already have it up, let's just hit it and then reload it with that curly arrow. Okay, now it's received request status. Now the requisition here, let's refresh this, and what we want to do is make sure that that amount changed. Yes, it did. It subtracted the 225 and the 130, or whatever amount I actually processed. The one that you saw live wasn't the same one that I uploaded just now and submitted, so it subtracted the amount. Okay, back to the tutorial. Okay, so we just did all that. We uploaded the proof with the button on the left, or excuse me, the invoice with the button on the left, and we uploaded the email with the button on the right. We wrote a message. We typed our name to sign, submitted, and then, well, first we saved it, and then we submitted, and then we got the success message. Okay, little pause to let you guys take that all in. So I'm opening this up on the portal, which is more likely what most of you will see. It's going to look like this, just a slightly different format. but everything is there. Okay. Ooh, it looks like I just got a email saying that since I'm the navigator for that site, I got the confirmation email, which I can share with you guys. All right, so, okay. That's what it looks like. It tells you how much. It has another link to EC Connect if you want to go check on things again, and all the details of your request. And then finally a link to the spending record that was created. Okay, so I want to make just a quick announcement that next week our topic will be the Race to the Top General Accounting Encumbrance, or RTTGAE. So please join us for that one. All right, we'll go on to the final solution here. So basically this doesn't have as many graphics as the other one, but it's got pretty simple steps, and this came directly from DECC, so thanks specifically for this one. Creating a QIP goal, you basically log into Colorado Shines, click on the Quality Improvement tab, and you follow these steps. Okay, so I'm pausing officially, but during my pause I'm just going to recap some of these 4 tutorials, okay? Tutorial 1 was again preventing your invoice going to junk mail. So it's Outlook manipulation, adding something to the safe senders, a very linear procedure versus the tricky right-clicking that you can do if you go to your junk mail. Okay. The second one here is registering through the Cvent site, which is the guys that are doing it. Important to remember that if you're registering for someone else, you should click that button that says I am registering on behalf of this person. Attendees, personal information, contact information, inviting others, error messages, registration or demographics questions, all of which are necessary, opt-in for text alerts, and then your registration options, which includes meals, workshops, hotels, and finally the review and summary so that you can modify your registration. Okay. One thing I didn't mention yet is that if you unregister, you have to use your registration number, which is on your invoice. So let's see, it's a good way to go to the invoice. So your invoice number will be right here. It's a PDF, I can't select it. Okay, so there's your invoice number and your confirmation number. Okay, the invoice number will be more important for accounting, but your confirmation number is the one that allows you to deregister or to modify your registration, because it will ask for that anytime you log in. Okay, there you go. Okay. And then finally, paying with quality funds. It's just a box that you check right before you submit. Saving the email message so that you can upload it. So you ensure that both the file entitled badge and the file entitled registration confirmed are both in your in the same directory. Okay. Okay. Here's a quick example. These two are just right there. Okay, you want to print your invoice, or it says print, but that takes you to both the print menu and the download, right? This icon to the right that's not circled is a print icon, and that's the download icon. But you get them from pressing the same link in your email. Okay, the EC Connect registration involves logging in, the quality improvement tab, using dollars, not coaching requisitions. There's such a thing as a training requisition, but I specifically didn't mention that just because it would be extra information that would cloud the understanding. Okay, fill in these screens. Be sure that you're adding and subtracting people with adding with that button and subtracting for here, unless you're somebody who doesn't make errors. Upload it, wait for the congratulations, and again, if you haven't created a QIP goal, this is how you do it. So that's the end of the summary. So I'm going to pause just and be on the line just for other questions and comments, either through phone or through the chat box. So thanks for listening. There's a question from Lisa before she left, asking about the cancellation fee, and I wanted to address that if there's anyone still listening. I asked Heidi day before yesterday about the Heidi at Denver Early Childhood, and I asked her about the cancellation fee, and she said there's a $50 registration or cancellation fee just for any type of cancellation. So I think that might have to, Lisa's question might have to be worked out individually with the person who you're paying to, or I'll bring it up on my end too to see if there's a workaround there. Okay, everyone, thanks for listening. Have a great Friday.